Thank you so much for joining us for another edition of All Angles. I'm Dion Jacksmillo, and in tonight's special program, we are focusing entirely on the parish of Westmoreland. This, of course, because of levels of crime in the parish. Over the past 5 years, there have been consistently high levels of murders and shootings in the parish. Now, on Sunday, Prime Minister Andrew Holness announced a zone of special operations in South Savannah Lamar, and the ZOSO, as we're calling them, includes communities like Russia, Darling Street, as well as Dexter Street. It initially will last for 60 days. Let me just give you a little bit more context in terms of what we're talking about over the past 5 years. You can see we're coming from murders in Westmoreland in 2018, 141. That fell to 89, then 80, and last year in 2021, we saw 128 murders. Now, we are just 19 days into the new year with already 9 murder cases reported in Westmoreland. Similarly, shootings coming from 2018, a figure of 151, fell to 185, and last year, 125. Now, the government, in response to the high levels of crime, has declared a number of states of emergency over the past few years in Westmoreland. We can see there was one from November 2018 to April 2019, then April 2019 to October 2019, and October 2019 to January 2020. Most recently, there was a state of emergency declared in November last year. That did not last past the initial 14 days because of lack of support for the opposition. Now, this week, the All Angles team visited the parish of Westmoreland. Here's what we found. So what is it like to live in a community that's under siege? The Prime Minister spoke of Dexter Street as one of the communities that's included in the ZOSO. It's just a few minutes drive from the police station in Savlamar. There's a ZOSO checkpoint up the road with soldiers busy searching motorists and passers-by. At one end of the street, some young men were sitting and talking, and a group of women came to talk to us. They told us, though, that the freedom they felt was because of the security presence. I have to give you some context here. In 2018, 19 people alleged to be members of the so-called Dexter Street gang were arrested and charged under the anti-gang legislation. CTOC, the Counter-Terrorism and Organized Crime Investigation Branch, said at the time the gang was linked to over 40 murders and the seizure of illegal guns and ammunition. All 19 were let go in 2019 after the prosecution said they couldn't find a key witness. The area is still a hotbed of violence. First, you'll hear from 2 older women who asked us not to show their faces.
When night comes, I cannot sleep at night.
Tell me why you can't sleep.
Because you consider me, I say, I wonder if the man them are come around here and he for shot them, we have fire at night time and then I can't sleep, make me do that myself.
How bad does the shooting get?
It's terrible. You hear it every corner, but you don't hear none around here, so you see it back so, you hear it back that way there, you hear it back that side. You don't hear none around here, you just a fire. And you see gun when them fire miss, it come like internet fire hit, it come like it spring, it's something them drop off for your house stop, for me house stop.
How long that might go on for?
All half hour straight.
So what do you do when that's happening?
Me lie down on my belly in my house, but me lie down on my belly and lock up in my house and tell my granddaughter to come. Last time when we shot them a fire, it come like him and they come from the side, back the side. And it come like a spring shell them a drop on through the house stop over my yard.
So what
and you can't hear when the dog take them a go back so.
So what's going through your mind when all that is happening?
Well, when you there fire and I say, boy, I pray and I say, God, guide me, protect me, guide my family, and guide my granddaughter, guide everyone who in the community from this.
Me hear across my house, boy, and You have to touch my husband. For I don't inside the room. We're living right different way. I'm not going to talk where I'm living at that moment, sleep at that moment. And we touch him. And I say, look here gunshot. Man come over from way. And if you want to use the bathroom, just take time going there. If you do, cover it down in the morning. I will flush it. And it went for about 2 hours straight. The man then come from the other side and come over. When you hear on my house stop, you hear they have to take one bench with piece of sponge and sit and go down. And my husband in the bathroom for about 2 hours straight.
Now, the police said that Dexter Street is still one of the centers of lottery scamming in Westmoreland. 2 of the women who spoke to us, Dazima Ricketts and Nisha Ricketts, sisters, acknowledged that they were among those who had been charged with anti-gang offenses in 2018, but they insist that they have done nothing wrong. And they told us about the reality of living in a community that's under fire. Here's Dazima Ricketts. Describe what it's like for you living here.
Devastating. It's very bad. You have problem with your children to go to school. You have problem with your businesses. We have a lot of problems.
Let's start with children going to school. What kind of problems?
All right, normally, if your children should go to school, your children should actually can be able to walk because the South Primary is right uptown and can walk back for the proper exercise as well. Normally, you have to spend money for taxi fare over and over. If you're going to the supermarket, you have that person don't even want to walk to the front street. They have to take taxi. You know how much money that one can actually walk, go to the front street? Every time to go, 500 to go, 500 to come. Some persons it's 400, some persons depends, it's 3. That's a lot of money anyhow.
What is it you're afraid will happen if you don't send them on taxi or if people don't take taxi?
Well, I'm afraid to send my children out because I'm afraid a gunman to attack them. I'm afraid they're caught up in crossfire. Anything can happen on the road. Even the same taxi where you send them in there, you're still afraid to send them in the taxi.
You are saying it affects your business as well?
Of course.
Tell me how.
Because you have persons from the outside that normally comes in they're afraid to come in right now. So everything is flat now.
So how badly has the business been affected? So when you don't have a crime problem, how many people you might see on a night at the bar?
Trust me, the bar is always full. Because my place is a vibrant, fun. Trust me, everybody want to come here.
But when the crime is affecting it, then what?
Nobody want to come here, so you don't have any money.
What about, say you're at home, when we spoke before, you were talking of hearing gunshots. Tell me what that's like.
Trust me, run off of bed something, mostly every night. Trust me, it's heartbreaking because where you grow from the lively neighborhood, the party neighborhood, to the crime place. A place where you constantly hear gunshot. Even for the elders, after you go on the bed bottom or night come. Trust me, just so you know how them have to run, imagine you, the younger person, and how you have to run, imagine them, how them have to move. It break your heart.
How bad does a gunshot get when you're listening to it at night time?
Dion, these guns are big. It's no ordinary gun firing right now. So trust me, you just want to get flat.
And how long that will go on for?
Sometime 5 minutes. Sometimes it take a time. And even for the police to come, it take a long time too. And the station is right there. So and most of the time, if the gunshot is firing in the area, basically, they can stay from the station and hear it. And it take a long time to come.
So when you're in your house now and you hear gunshots start, what you do? What you and your kids do?
Get flat.
Same time?
Same time.
And the children know to do that as well?
Right. As my son hear one gunshot, trust me, he jump up, mommy, 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 and he jump off my bed.
Wow. How you feel as a mother when you see that?
Trust me, enough time I just want to pack up my stuff and run away. I tell you, take up my children and run away because I don't like crime. Me a kind of peace person, I like the peace, I don't like the crime. I can't manage the crime. Because first of all, I don't see where to go. I don't see what the war for. and way to benefit nobody. Everybody just scared. And if you don't want mind space, you don't know if I you next.
Have you had people who are close to you, whether relatives or friends or neighbors, who have been shot or killed?
Well, yes. I have relatives that shot and killed from the same violence that is going on, and I have a family member that get shot at last week.
How does that affect you and the family?
It's terrible. Even the kids have this in their brain, in their head. My daughter, she's traumatized.
How old is she?
She's 13. She go to stage. She hardly, like if I come here 50 times per day, you won't see her, because she always in her house.
They're afraid to come out.
Yeah, my daughter, she a host, she not come out. Not at all.
And you mentioned you were talking about your son a little earlier and how he reacts to gunshots. How else you've seen them being affected?
Trust me, like, wanted to come and play sometime on the road, a little football or whatever, and me even scared me, tell him, no, don't go play no football. Because normally when I see them playing a little football, you know that's fun, childhood. If you enjoy your childhood, is to play football, a little netball, a little cricket, them ride them bicycle. How they look, you understand that is taken away from the kids right now?
The police say a scamming cause all of this.
Scamming.
Say gang a fight gang over scamming.
The police are scamming. Well, we don't know how you come by that and why you don't say that.
Why, you don't agree with them?
See, are scamming, but guns are here and everywhere before scamming. Before we even know about scamming and people are dead and stuff, but it gets really bad. It get more right now, for real.